Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti.
This week's video has been a bit of a marathon, really. And we ask you to stay with us because it's a bit of a marathon for you as well, but well worth it. Our friend Guido, who is a sommelier of olive oil, has explained to us the process of making olive oil, what makes Italian olive oil special, what you should look for in olive oil, and he's done it in a very clear and technical way. So if you want to become an olive oil expert, stay with us.
Yes, I want to buy a bottle of olive oil as well.
And know that you're getting real olive oil with the benefits of olive oil and not being cheated.
And one thing I have to say that a bottle of olive oil costs like a bottle of good wine. But a bottle of good wine, as many people say, Guido as well told us, would last for one evening. But a bottle of olive oil would last for some time.
Particularly if you just use it as a condiment to your food, which then is where you get all the goodness. So don't waste your olive oil.
Never. So stay with us.
Keep watching, it's worth it.
Ciao, I'm Enzo.
I'm Celia.
This is our channel where we show you how life is in Lucca.
And in the Tuscan hills.
I love cooking traditional food.
And we love exploring our beautiful part of the world.
So please subscribe and welcome
to Piazza Talk Lucca. Today we're in our favourite wine shop, in the whole area in fact, called Non Solo Vino, which is owned by our friend Guido Bracci, who was born in Bagni di Lucca, and he's a sommelier of wine. Guido is also a sommelier of olive oil. So today we're going to talk about olive oil because it's the moment, and this year none of us have been able to collect olives. We both have olive groves because we had lots of flower, but then I think the reason is the rain came at the wrong time and the flowers didn't set. So other parts of Italy have oil, but it's been a bit patchy this year. So we thought this time we'd talk about what olive oil really is. It's called the gold of Lucca. Our olive oil is very special, but also about olive oil from supermarkets, those you buy direct and those you buy lots of money for. So Guido, first of all, cos'è olio? What is olive oil?
Buonasera, ovviamente io sono Guido, come avete capito, e siamo qui per parlare d'olio, è chiaro.
Olive oil is produced by pressing olives.
Dell'oliva. Dobbiamo dire che è un elemento insostituibile.
It is an essential ingredient of our Mediterranean diet because it greatly intensifies the taste of our dishes.
Aumenta l'eccellenza.
And it is a very healthy ingredient to add to our diet.
Salutistico in tavola.
Vedete che storicamente
We found a video where ladies were historically collecting olives on the ground.
proprio dentro il fango.
Oggi non si fa più una raccolta.
Today, olives are not collected directly off the ground. We place nets. Olives are collected at an early stage. We don't climb on trees, but we use hand shakers.
Ma si raccolgono comunque con degli agevolatori sempre dal terreno.
The nets have to be suspended or laid on the ground, making sure that olives do not fall outside the net.
La rete esclude il contatto con la terra.
The olives in the net are not touching the ground. Modern man-made nets, unlike the old ones made of cotton, are much tighter.
L'olio, secondo la legislazione italiana,
Olive oil, according to the Italian law, must be classified into extra-virgin olive oil, non-edible oil.
L'olio extravergine deve avere
Extra-virgin olive oil must have a free acidity of acetic acid below 0.8%, which is a very low acidity.
inferiore allo 0,8%, che è un'acidità bassissima. Di contro, l'olio
Virgin oil can have a higher acidity up to 2%.
maggiore, diciamo fino al 2%. E l'olio lampante
Non-edible oil can have an acidity up to 3 or 4%, and it is for industrial use, unless it is corrected during processing.
destinato a abbassare l'acidità. Ecco. Allora, la cosa
An important point is why the quality of oil, according to the Italian law, is based on acidity, to distinguish a good oil from a less good oil.
un'eccellenza da un olio più scarso. L'acidità
Because the more acid the oil is, the quicker it deteriorates.
questo fa sì che
We can say that not all extra virgin olive oil are super quality, even if many people believe that.
la qualità, anche se nell'immaginario si crede questo. La legge ti indica
Acidity is just a chemical parameter.
parallelamente all'analisi
Along with the chemical analysis, you need to do a testing.
esiste una commissione
An
che si chiama
expert panel describes the fruitiness of the oil and points out any defects.
il fruttato che percepisce e se c'è qualche difetto. Allora,
The
le due
two
cose
things together establish the quality of the oil.
l'etica stabiliscono la qualità di un olio.
Cos'è la differenza?
What is the difference between extra virgin olive oil and olive oil?
Allora, nell'olio d'oliva ci può essere una piccola aggiunta
In olive oil, there could be a small addition of other olive oils.
stato dall'oleificio che
In some ways, corrected in the processing, include the acidity.
l'acidità dell'olio. Mi sembra giusto anche dire
It seems to be correct to explain how to get a low acidity extra virgin olive oil.
le olive in una maniera
First, early picking. In Tuscany, generally from mid to late October.
verso il 10-15 fino alla fine di ottobre. Nelle olive
At this moment, in the olives, there are many polyphenols, very strong antioxidants.
che è una sostanza fortemente antiossidante. Man mano che la
The more mature the olives are, polyphenols decrease and the peroxide increase, causing higher acidity.
si abbassano e aumentano i perossidi, che invece purtroppo sono sostanze che fanno sì che aumenti l'acidità e che l'olio non abbia più caratteristiche di freschezza. Altro fattore determinante
Another crucial point is the time between picking and pressing.
che intercorre dalla raccolta alla frangitura. Di solito
The best result is to pick and press on the same day because olives start to oxidize from the moment they are picked until they get pressed.
no, perché l'oliva è veramente soggetta a ossidazione. Dal momento in cui si stacca fino al momento della spremitura, l'ossidazione va avanti. Va avanti
Taste might turn easily from fruity to rancid.
a arrivare fino all'irrancidimento. Se vogliamo parlare
If you want to talk also of the color of the oil, it varies according to the variety of olives and the time of picking, from emerald green, yellow green, straw to yellow gold.
verde smeraldo, da un verde intenso fino a un verde giallo, un giallo verde, diciamo,
verde.
a un giallo verde, a un giallo paglierino, a un giallo oro. Allora, anche qui, questo è quello che si pensa comunemente.
The color does not always reflect the quality of the oil, because we can find in the supermarket in front of us a bottle of intense green color, but it is an old oil that has been modified. They add chlorophyll.
Come se ci hanno messo la clorofilla. Quando portiamo a casa la bottiglia dobbiamo
We have to take it home and try it. The taste varies a lot between an excellent oil and a medium quality or even old oil.
tra un olio di eccellenza a un olio medio e un olio maturo. Allora, l'olio di eccellenza intanto
An excellent olive oil smells of vegetation, should recall cut grass, tomato leaves, green bananas, must be peppery and bitter. Not only when it is fresh, but also later.
e poi, importantissimo, deve essere piccante ed amaro. Due note fondamentali.
All'inizio,
No,
anche dopo.
in misura minore, ma anche dopo.
Anche dopo.
Anche dopo. Un olio invece che è stato un olio medio perde il piccante.
A less good oil loses the pepperness and bitterness quickly after pressing.
Solo appena è franto lo è, poi lo perde subito. Il fruttato non è più un fruttato intenso ma leggero, non più riferito a un fruttacervo ma a un frutto.
It not only loses its fruitness, which turns into a mature apple or tomato, but also loses the healthy benefits.
L'amaro che non solo sono un fatto sensoriale importante, ma anche dal punto di vista salutistico. Arriviamo all'ultima ipotesi che è un olio maturo. L'olio maturo
A mature oil has the color of yellow gold and the taste recalls of a cooked fruit.
Un fruttato non solo riferito a un frutto maturo, ma a un frutto cotto. Può anche presentare difetti dovuti a ossidazione.
As well as these faults, further damage can be done by bad storage and oxidization.
Tecnici che corrispondono al secco, al rancido.
There are technical terms to describe the effect of oxidization: dry, rancid, mold, heat.
Ossidazione. Altro aspetto importante quando abbiamo portato la bottiglia a casa.
Another important point is how to store oil at home.
E quella è veramente importante. Come conservi l'olio? Si può portare a casa.
A good bottle of oil can be ruined in a couple of weeks if it's not stored properly.
Nel tempo di 15 giorni. Abbiamo detto che l'olio con il passare
As we
del tempo
said, olive oil loses quality over time.
E comunque tende a peggiorare le proprie qualità.
Ma è vero, si dice ad esempio dell'olio. It must be stored in a dark place at a temperature between 7 and 20 degrees centigrade.
20 sarebbe l'ideale.
Oil is often in a green bottle to protect it from UV light, but brown would be better.
Fosse marrone sarebbe meglio. Fosse
And covered with paper would be even better.
Da una carta sarebbe ancora meglio. Ecco, ora in Italia abbiamo la fortuna.
In Italy we're lucky, we have a huge biodiversity with almost 100 different olive varieties.
Ne abbiamo quasi 500. È pur vero.
It is also true that some varieties in different regions they take different names, but the origin is the same. And also the olive adapts to a new territory. In our olive grove, we have different varieties of olives. If we press separately, do we get different olive oils? Yes, indeed. Our Tuscan varieties don't change very much. If we consider Coratina, which is a variety from Puglia, we make an olive oil which is very intense in flavor and very high content of polyphenols.
Intenso proprio in tutte le sue caratteristiche e con polifenoli altissimi.
And also you have to consider how the variety adapts to the new place.
Cioè, se noi prendiamo una coratina.
If we plant a Coratina in our olive grove here, we would not get the same oil as we would get in Puglia. Everything affects it, the soil and the amount of sunlight. In Tuscany we have 4 or 5 common varieties: Frantoiano, Leccino, Pendolino and Seggianese. Every Italian region soil has its own distinctive characteristics. In Puglia there is a big problem with Xylella, a bacteria attacking the trees. It seems that the Leccino variety is resistant to it. This is basically what we have to say to introduce olive oil. It is not possible to sell a bottle of olive oil for 5-6 euros. How can they sell it for 5 euros? It is possible if they use low-grade oils that can be transformed into gold like King Midas.
Che un olificio è capace a trasformare in oro come Re Mida.
But through this process, the oils they lose all the healthy antioxidants. Why are olive oils better? Because our way of cultivating olives, collecting them and pressing them is different. If olives are collected over 5 months, if bad olives are collected on the ground, if everything is mechanized and the processing is streamlined to the extreme, well, the prices go down. And often this oil is not produced in Italy. For instance, I come here to buy a very good olive oil. What should I look for?
Allora, è quello che determina
Well, the price is a good indicator.
in Toscana non
In
si
Tuscany, it's not possible to produce olive oil for less than 10-15 euros per liter, and this does not include a return.
in annate difficili come questa.
In a difficult year like this, the price will go up. But is oil losing its characteristic when it is used for cooking?
Certo, allora l'olio ha un punto di fumo.
Oil has got a high smoke point, but heat doesn't do any good to it. One should use olive oil for cooking, or extra virgin even better. But for the best experience, one should sprinkle it raw on our dishes. And what about unfiltered oil? In the past, it was very common to buy unfiltered olive oil. It gave the impression that it was more genuine, just pressed, but it's not like that. The particles in the oil, after some time, tend to set, but they're also not very good because they tend to ferment, even if there is a little air in the bottle. From a practical point of view, what should I look for, especially if I'm not in Italy? One should read the label and find out if a producer can be identified. And it's also very important to read nutrition information on the bottle. If I'm in London or New York, I'm sure that on the shelves of a specialized shop in New York or London, one can find a good bottle of Italian olive oil. And also, for example, Greek olive oil is cheaper than Italian olive oil.
In Grecia si producono.
In Greece, as well as in Spain, they produce excellent olive oil, but one has to see how the market works.
Quanto il loro mercato chiede questo.
Yes, it seems that Italian olive oil is more expensive. Italian olive oil is more expensive because the perception is that it is of a higher quality. It is a trademark. Olive oil, even more than wine, is something we should be very proud of. Often on the label on the back of the bottle, they show the analysis of the oil. And consumers should be able to understand the label. Saturated fats, monounsaturated fats. So these values determine the quality of the olive oil. Saturated fatty acids, 14 grams. So it is a good level. And this is 13. Tell me something about the technique used by the oil sommelier to taste the oil. It is a technique called stripping. You pour a little bit of oil on the tip of your tongue. Then close your mouth by inspiring. Quickly, try to nebulize all the oil inside your mouth. Then on different parts of the tongue you perceive bitterness, peppery, sweetness and salt. And also smelling is an important part of this experience. We have established a few things. If we go to a shop where we can buy an oil which is made by a producer who has built a reputation, and reputation is the gold of commerce. Then read the label on the bottle and try to understand the technical qualities. And finally, get used to taste the oil. Often in the oil world, people confuse strengths and weaknesses. The major example is the bitterness. The bitterness comes from the tocopherols, vitamin E, which is a very strong antioxidant. But this is not taken into consideration, even if it means a very high quality oil. Olives picked up late and olives of low quality have not got a high level of heat, which is a characteristic of low quality oil. But in the perception of the standard consumer, oil should not be bitter. I should also add that now the quality of olive oil, as well as the quality of the wine, has significantly improved. Also, many agricultural practices rooted in the past, even locally, have been abandoned now. We try to produce the best. Then also technology came. Before the interview, we were talking of traditional oil mills with the big stones. People used to think that's the perfect practice, but it is not. As we know, the olives oxidize very easily. And the process of mashing the olives in the air exposes them to a strong oxidation. In the modern mills that use hammers instead, all the process happens in an oxygen-free environment. And now tell me, what is the malaxation? What is the purpose of it? It is one of the last stages of the process. The olives, after mashed into a paste, are introduced into this churner called in Italian gramola. Then some water is added at no more than 25-26 degrees centigrades or 77-79 Fahrenheit. Through this process, the oil and water separate. Nowadays, the entire process is done in an oxygen-free environment. Oil mills also perform some different techniques. For instance, I take my olives to a nearby oil mill where they also use ultrasounds. The olives, before being mashed, are exposed to ultrasounds. By doing this, the yield is increased by 1 to 1.25%. Then the last stage after malaxation is the centrifuge, where the largest droplets of oil in the suspension get finally separated so we can have a clean oil.
So we'd like to thank Guido for his time and for giving us his explanation, and I have learned so much about oil. I respect it even more as a product, and I will take even greater care of my olive trees, I promise you.
Il piacere è mio perché amo parlare di olio, è la mia passione, credo che si è sentito dall'enfasi, no?
We certainly have heard your passion, and we love this shop, and all our guests at Limura and our friends love this shop. So please keep going, and anybody in this area, come and visit Guido. He has the most amazing selection of wines, and he knows about every vineyard, unusual ones as well, small ones, and also oil. So please come and visit him in Bagni di Lucca and support this amazing little shop.
Sicuramente se viene un cliente avrà un trattamento professionale, credo.
Absolutely.
Ecco.
All my friends have learned so much when they've come here and come back with delicious wine that we've enjoyed. Which is an even better reason for sending them here. So okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Grazie a voi. Grazie a voi.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, leave a like and activate the notification bell. You just need a Google account and it's free. It helps our community enormously. Thank you very much.